Nice.
Are we on?
Um,
Bienvenidos a la humilde cebolla. ¿Cómo estás? It's episode 2, guys. Welcome to the Humble Onion. Today we're making carnitas. I won't do the accent. There's nothing worse. I won't call them carnitas or tacos or anything stupid. Okay, it's tacos. I've got an Australian accent. Deal with it. We're going to be making tortillas. Okay, with our mozzarella over here. We're going to get a salsa roja in the oven straight away as well. We have some beautiful confit pork going on in this pot. We got some belly and some ribs. We're going to be crispening that up. The weather outside is frightful, but inside we're making tortillas. So stick around. First thing we're going to be doing is getting our carnitas out of the pot here. So basically carnitas are just confit pork. Confit is a French technique. Everybody figured out that cooking things under their own fat is a great way to do it. So we've got some mixed porks in here. We've got some lovely pork ribs that are insanely soft and just very, oh, that's absolutely wonderful. And I've got a lovely piece of pork belly as well. So I'm going to pull these out so they can slightly cool down. Whilst that's happening, I'm going to get the fat back on, warming up for us to get these a little bit crispy before we serve them. So salsa roja is just a red salsa. It can really be whatever you have, to be perfectly honest. We're going with our red ingredients. We have some tomato, some paprika. Always going to put a little bit of onion, a little bit of garlic in these salsas as well. I'm going with half an onion, 3 ripe tomatoes, 1 habanero because I like it picante, 4 cloves of garlic. We're just going to roast these in a hot pan until they're really nice and caramelized. You'll read a lot of Mexican recipes. They'll describe asado, which basically means like toasted, grilled, charred is really the feeling that we're trying to get here. We're starting our salsa by really charring a lot of our vegetables. Mexican food is incredibly interesting because it's kind of a balance between raw and burned rather than sort of a French kind of cooking technique where you're really getting sweetness out of a lot of your mirepoix by cooking it for a long time. With Mexican cooking, you're really just going to sear these things on the flat top, on the plancha, and get them nice and dark, and then you're going to blend them whilst they're raw. It's a really different kind of cooking style and a very different seasoning, which I really enjoy. For this, we've got this pan ragingly hot. I like to go in dry and add some oil afterwards because I find that sticking my fingers into ragingly hot oil sucks. So I just put the things in first, and then we'll deglaze afterwards. It's totally fine. In with our garlics. And in with our paprika. So you want that heat up really high. We're going to get a little bit of oil in there as well. Ooh la la. Olsen sea salt flakes. We're going to get good color in the pan first, and then I'm going to go in the oven. I'd like mine to get a little bit of roast, a little bit of char, but also because the pan here is not going to get as hot as it would if you were using a large flat top. So for us to achieve a really good dark color, we're going to go into the oven for about 10 minutes. My oven's literally cranked as hot as it will go. Okay, so we're going to make some tortillas. I keep mozzarella at home all the time. Depending where you are in the world, it obviously is going to have varying degrees of how easy this is to get. But I live in Perth, in Western Australia, which is probably one of the most behind places there are, so I can get it. This is pure corn that has been ground. This is completely gluten-free. The way they make mozzarella is a process called nixtamalization. Quite hard to say, but it's soaking corn into a lime solution, into an alkaline solution, and then dehydrating it before they grind, or by overcooking it in the lime solution and then grinding fresh. All that's in here is corn. So if you have any allergies, as long as you're not allergic to corn, you can eat it. So in a bowl, I'm going to put 500 grams of mozzarella. It's a real recipe to make it at home. This one here is baking powder. We're going to put just a wee pinch of that in there. The salt will go in with like 10 grams of salt. Or 11. There's no gluten to overwork. You can't really stuff this up. There's just wetter and drier, that's it. But the only little tip that I would say, other than just mixing all our dry ingredients together, is that you want your water to be warm. That's it. So we're going to go in here now with 750 grams of warm water. That took ages to pour. Stop. I'm gonna mix this in. Masa is so versatile. This is like pasta dough. Like you can make so many different things out of the same dough. You can keep it in the fridge. All that's gonna happen is it's gonna dehydrate a little bit, so you gotta add a little bit more water. If your mix is too wet, just add more flour. You can't go too far wrong. It's a very, very simple process, which obviously means, like all simple processes, small changes will have a big bearing, like the temperature of our pan when we come to cook our tortillas, or the consistency and the thickness of the tortillas as well. But other than that, you really can't go too far wrong. And it's fun. It's like Play-Doh. Oh, make a big mess. Delicious, tasty mess. I mean, I ate Play-Doh anyway as a child, but you want to knead it for a little bit. Whilst there isn't a gluten, what we are still trying to do is hydrate the flour, which is going to happen with kneading and time, the exact same way that hydrating wheat flour does. So we're just going to work this for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to leave it to the side for 5 minutes, and it's going to be ready to press out into tortillas. Under here, I've had my masa dough. That has just been resting away there. Over here, I've just broken off some chunks, which I've rolled into balls. You can go through and weigh these out if you want. I don't know how much time you have. Make them all 37 grams and whatever. It's okay if the tacos are a little bit differently sized by the end of this. So the best thing to do, if you have friends, call me. I'd love to hang out. Get one person breaking them up and rolling them, and you start pressing them, and that's the best way to go. So I have this lovely tortilla press. Even in Perth, you can pick these up. Coolers have them. I know you can pick them up from loads of different places. There'll just be a little 2 discs of cast iron that you smush together with a handle. I love making tortillas, so I bought a really lovely tortilla press. But you can do this with really anything. You can press this out just under like a book. Do whatever you want, under the back of a pan or a plate. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally fine. They're still going to work. Push that down, and we have our beautiful tortilla. Always when you're dealing with it, you want to peel the paper or the plastic away from the tort. Okay, these things are still pliable and wonderful, but they're still fragile, okay? So if you're in regions of Mexico, there'd be like giant stone, incredible stone flat tops with fires underneath them. If you're in most restaurants, you're going to have a gas flat top, just like a barbecue. If you're at home, we're going to do them in pans, and that's totally fine as well. In the pan, what we're going to do is lay the tort down, okay? You don't want to slap it down because you end up with air pockets that we're not making up complete contact with the surface there, so it's not cooking evenly, okay? Now, whilst this one's cooking, I'm going to start smashing through the rest of these. It's really quick and easy. Torts are so simple to make. Because there's no resting, there's no gluten, you don't have to worry about any of that. You can make this and have this dough in your fridge all the time. So as soon as these things aren't sticking to the bottom of the pan, which as long as you have your temperature quite high, is really, really straightforward. What we're looking for, we want these things to puff. If there's steam inside the tortilla and this thing puffs up, it's going to make for a really nice, chewy, soft, supple tortilla, which is really what we're after. Now, as soon as these things start puffing, we're going to go into any container that you have with a lid is fine. And I like to line with a tea towel because there's going to be steam and condensation, and I don't want these bad boys getting wet. I just want them to steam and finish cooking with the temperature that's already coming out of our torts. Okay, guys, so we're going to blend our salsa. That's going in our upright blender here. Here I have all of my things from the oven. Our onion. Chilies, which are making everyone here in my home cough. We're going to go in with all our tomatoes as well. Our garlic and our paprikas. I'm going to put half a lime of juice in there as well. And I'm probably also going to put a little bit of coriander just to lift it up. Delicious salsa. That looks incredible. Let's have a taste. That's really hot. It's charred, it's roasty, but it's still really fresh. And that's what's important with this. If you can get your hands on fresh flavor chilies, that's the best way to be going. I use the paprika because we don't get fresh serrano chilies, things like that in this country very often. But obviously, wherever you are, use what you've got. Our salsa roja is looking wonderful. Guys, all that's left to do for our wonderful Carnitas taco is we're going to take this pork here that we wonderfully just slowly, softly confit, and we're going to put it back into the same fat that I've got lovely and hot over here on the stove. We're going to get it crispy crunchy on the outside, and we're going to chop it up, and that's it. I am losing it right now. I am drooling. We've got our fresh tortillas, our salsa roja. I got some fresh garnish down here, a lovely glass of sparkling, and I just want to sit down and eat some tacos. Let's chop this up. Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's going to be so nice and soft inside. So our hot oil here, our lovely hot fat. There's going to be a little bit of action here, folks. Dangerous to do in your own home. And this bit is fucking dangerous, guys, yeah? Let's get some more in there. Ooh, it's going to explode. So, we've got this hot fat bubbling away here, okay? It's also actually a handle that I have on a few websites, but hot fat, you've got, this is going to make our skin really nice and crispy, which is wonderful, but it's going to explode, okay? And if it explodes in your face, it can sting. So just be fucking careful, all right? I don't have to worry because I'm a professional and I have a lid. Damn it! Absolutely wonderful. Fat is flavor. As always, it's why I'm a delicious bastard. I'm going to take these ribs off their ribs. Super lush. Give this a really good chopping. All of our lovely confit pork here. Ready to go for our tacos. Let's eat. All that's left to do is eat some tacos. I'm going to have a little sip first. You see, from steaming our tacos, steaming our tortillas, this is what we get. It's lovely, supple torts. I'm going to scoop out some avocado. Oh, wonderful. I pickled up some jalapenos. I'll do that at my house, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. That's really spicy. We're going to get some delicious pork on here. A little bit of the salsa roja. Squeeze of the old lime. Onions, cebolla, fucking corianders. Hey, bit of this. Cheers. It's really good. It's really good. It's really, really good. Definitely make this, okay? Use any pork that you've got. Just braise it, confit it if you can. Make a salsa, just roast and burn whatever vegetables you've got and blend them up. Most important thing is just making fresh tortillas. Everything tastes good on a fresh tortilla. Cheers, everybody. Episode 2. Buenas noches. Gracias. De nada. This is really good, by the way. This is really good. Do you guys want some tacos? I've got to eat another taco then.
But can you do it, but I film it like that?
Totally. Yeah, you can film as many times of me